There are some reasons why I think the perception of good and evil in the Garden of Eden story is highly problematic and shows that it's not really about the creation of the world per se, but of an ideological, cultural world that begins with the story itself and with the notion of God. This is because when Adam is told by God that he mustn't eat of the true fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, or he will die, Adam does not react like someone who has no knowledge of good or evil. Presumably he thinks that this is a bad thing because of the way that Eve talks later on. They talk as if death is something bad and to be avoided. How would they do this if they don't know what bad or evil is? Also, Adam, when Eve is created, says that from now on, because woman is made from man's rib, that man will cleave to his wife and leave his family, leave his mother and father. Keep in mind that there aren't supposed to be such things as mothers and fathers yet, and go to live with his wife's family. Now, this is highly problematic for a man who does not know the existence of good and evil. Anyone who knows what in-laws are must have thought at some point that at least some of them were evil. There is no way to conceive of in-laws without conceiving of good and evil, and without family ties, and without the knowledge of death, which presumably has not yet entered the world. So, what could we be talking about when God speaks of good and evil, when it seems that they've merely sectioned off a portion of the world, conceived a new artistic, culture, and ideological framework in which to describe it, including perhaps the existence of a deity who created it, and may have been created by humankind itself. Well, at this point, it seems to me that the knowledge of good and evil must be the knowledge of how God sees good and evil, which are not necessarily the same things, since they are metaphors, as I believe, for institutions of how humanity itself should see good and evil. The two are almost diametrically opposed. Whenever humanity tries to imitate God in the early chapters of Genesis, there's disaster and punishment. And this is fitting because we shouldn't try to live as entities that exist only on paper. And we shouldn't try to imitate them because they exploit and kill human beings. But the most dramatic example of this, I think, is in the eating of the tree itself. It's an imitation of how institutions feed. They feed off people and off living things. And this is made quite explicit after the flood, when God says, oh, I won't destroy people by fire anymore, and I won't kill them off en masse, or I should say by water. I won't kill them off by flood anymore. But right immediately after this, God says, I want blood. I want you to give me your blood and the blood of your animals. And people are created in such a way that they will die. And I think this is present even before the eating of the fruit. Because otherwise, there would be no evil in the Garden of Eden for Adam and Eve to discover. They would not know of the existence of evil if they had not been lied to, if the truth of the existence of the tree of life had not been concealed from them, and they had had no other choice. Now, strictly speaking, they don't have a choice because they aren't informed of it, and they have no way of knowing, at least according to their perception, unless they just created a deity who would take the weight of their own deception, so that they could say, well, we didn't deceive ourselves, the deity did. And this is what you see all throughout the story. Satan says, I'm not deceiving you, God is. And in fact, he is being deceptive. Because if he just said, just read of the tree of life, the same consequences, the same sort of things would have ensued. They would have had their eyes open. They would have realized that they'd been lied to, because if they had become immortal, then they would have known that they were mortal to start with. And that therefore they were never told that they were going to die, even if they didn't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So there's this thing throughout the Bible of God as he's a predator, he's a parasite, he demands blood. In short, he is what all other institutions that we have designed in his likeness are. He is a vampire.